Charizard vs Typhlosion. Who would win in a Pokemon battle? This debate, now 26 years old, originally began when Pokemon Gold and Silver was released, but if both of these Pokemon were to go into a full-on battle, who would win? Now, in order for us to make this comparison, we need a game that both Charizard and Typhlosion are both in. So I'm just going to use Scarlet and Violet since that's the most recent one. Now, both of them do share a couple of similarities. Charizard and Typhlosion both have the same base stat total, they both have the ability Blaze, and both of them are fire types, but one difference is that Charizard is a fire flying type while Typhlosion is a pure fire type. Keep that in mind. Now, let's look into their move pools because that will be our deciding factor. Both of these Pokemon can learn a pretty decent amount of moves. And to nobody's surprise, both of them can learn a pretty decent amount of Fire-type moves. But that's not really going to help either of them out because Fire-type moves aren't effective against Fire-type Pokemon. Also, Charizard and Typhlosion do have some status moves, but since they counteract each other, we won't mention them. So where does that leave us? Well, Charizard has access to the move Dragon's Breath, which deals damage and has a 30% chance of paralyzing their target, in this case Typhlosion. From here, Charizard's best shot at dealing damage would be Air Slash on evolution. This is because although Charizard can also use Dragon Claw, Charizard's Air Slash would have a stab bonus due to its part flying type. It's also a special attack, which is much more beneficial in this situation. Now as for Typhlosion, their best special attack is Swift, which although it's guaranteed to hit, with only 60 base power, that's not really an optimal option. So what about physical attacks? Well, for Typhlosion, there are only two options. The best one is Double Edge, but seeing as that does recall damage, not really optimal. But what about Rollout? Now, the reason why I think Rollout would be better than Double Edge in this situation is because Rollout is a rock type move, whereas Charizard is a fire flying type, so it would be extremely effective. However, there is one more speculation I would like to bring up: the accuracy. It is unlikely that Charizard will be able to paralyze Typhlosion. Typhlosion does have stronger moves available, but they're physical, so they won't do as much damage. And finally, none of these attacks are guaranteed to hit. So I'd say it's all about who gets more fortunate with their attacks.